We're not live? Yeah.
We're live. Here we go. Welcome. Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 294. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I see some people in the chat. Restore it. Don't junk it. Got in here early. Sherry's in here. Great to see everybody, guys. Get in, find the chat. Let us know where you live, where you're doing business. I want to know who is going to do a deal this week. Who is going to work with a property owner? Who is going to have an unbelievable discovery process? Who's going to find out why they want to sell and what their goal is for their property? What are we doing? Yeah, we're starting a little early because daylight savings time, guys. Daylight savings time threw everybody off. We don't change it here in Arizona, but it does change around the country. So my name is Brent Daniels. I'm joined by the incredible Rafael Cortez. And we are running the show today. Jamil is having a fun, interesting personal night. Pace is running around the country, 100 cities in 100 days, and he is hosting an event. And we've got Jerry is at Investor Fuel. So, guys, it is going to be an exciting time. I want to start with this, Raf. I want to open this up. This is something that I do. I like doing this once a year, maybe twice a year, just to really wrap our heads around some of the bigger concepts when it comes to wholesaling. And I want you guys to let me know if you relate to these. Let me know if you've experienced these, and let me know what you think about these. But the first slide here, Raf, is the 5 most powerful words in real estate. Not this slide, the number one in the 10 wholesale secrets I wish I knew when I started. That's what we're going through. And it is the most powerful 5 words. Once I learned this from Tom Kroll, it changed my business forever because I was always out there chasing opportunities. I was always out there having so much enthusiasm. If somebody just had a great conversation with me, and then all of a sudden I was going through all these leads, and nobody was signing a purchase agreement. And that is because we are deal finder, not deal creator. Deal finder, not deal creator. What does that mean to you, Raf?
Man, that goes deep, really, because a lot of times to me, I used to get fixated on wanting to make the lead work, right? Like, so I had, 3 to 5 leads in the pipeline, and I just wanted to turn them into water, and all they were was sand, just like those sand dunes that you have right there. And it's, at the end of the day, is like we got to find the thing that's going to make it click with the seller, not necessarily convincing people to sell to us or anything like that. But I was trying to convince. I was taking that approach, really. I mean, guilty of that right at the beginning. And then I realized, listen, I have to go through more volume and really see people or find people that I can actually come in and assist and help. Find those, right, as opposed to trying to create something out of nothing, because that's very stressful. And whenever you do get away with doing something like that, the spreads tend to be very, very, very skinny anyway. So
that's right. And listen, guys, it's a very simple conversation. You have to find out what the goal is for the sale of their property. A lead is somebody that has already made the decision they're going to sell their property. Remember that. That is what a lead is. And as long as you understand that, you're not going to try to be convincing anybody that it's the right market, that it's the right timing, that it's the right price, it's the right terms, any of these things, right? They have to have already made the decision they're going to sell their property. That is the number one thing. So be a deal finder, not a deal creator. Don't go fishing in the desert. Number 2 in the 10 wholesale secrets I wish I knew when I got started is people over properties. People over properties, guys. You have to build a relationship with these property owners. You have to build trust. You have to be able to understand what is going on with them. You got to deep dive and understand. It can't just be like, oh, here's a property, here's your price. That's it. You will get beaten out by the people that are going in and actually understanding what is going on in those people's lives.
Dimitri's making a really good point on the comments. He goes, always present an offer, especially if they have to think about it, right? I mean, I think that's part of the deal finding process. One question that was huge for me, and it translated straight up into dollars, was, do you have any other properties that you might be interested in selling? right? Something as simple as plugging that into the end of your conversation, and I mean every conversation, can go a long way. A lot of times these people don't have the like that particular property is not for sale, but they have needs. They have distress. When we're talking about people with properties, they may have a vacant property in another state, and we don't know until we ask. The crazy thing is that we normally assume that it's like, yeah, they're going to bring it up if there's something there. But the reality is that's not the case. We're boxed into that one conversation, and sometimes it's hard to see beyond that. Right. So plugging that in.
Yeah. And I find that there is oftentimes, and it's a day or two afterwards, where maybe somebody signs a purchase agreement with us, and then everything changes. All of a sudden, they don't want to sell the property anymore. All of a sudden, something came up. And this isn't because we put it out to our cash buyers. This isn't because we opened up escrow and the escrow company's reaching out to them. Some people just genuinely change their mind. And I think that, if we think, oh, we've got them in this purchase agreement, we can keep them trapped. That's what has led to some of the states regulating the amount of time people have to be able to cancel these agreements. So remember, when a sticky deal is somewhere where you have built that relationship, that seller understands that you guys are in alignment with what your offer is and what they're trying to accomplish. And that is how you get through the finish line. That's how you get 5-star Google reviews. And I'm telling you guys, in the land of AI, in the land of building businesses that last a long time, remember this, guys. Like, real estate is one of those businesses. It's one of those industries that you see like 86-year-olds in, right? Like, you can do real estate forever. So reputation really matters. And the more that people are going onto their phones and they're searching AI, or they're going out and they're Googling to see what your reputation is out there in the regular world, it is important to get those 5-star reviews. And the only way to do that is to really, really, really think about what is in the best interest of that property owner and get it all the way through the finish. And when you do that and you actually ask them for a testimonial, they end up doing it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Terry's here. Hario's here. Pansy's here. Peggy's here. This is awesome. Find the bunnies. That's absolutely correct. That's right, Peg. Find the bunnies. That's what you want to know. What are those little things? What are the little reasons that this property owner has that they want to sell this property? And it's not always about money. Let me show you this. Let me switch this out real quick. I'm going to put this on because I think that this is really important, right? The sellers only get two. There's speed, convenience, and price. Speed, convenience, and price. This is Wholesale Hotline. So if you're looking to wholesale deals, right? You're looking for another buyer to replace you and pay a fee to replace you in a purchase agreement. Speed and convenience. That's what we're solving. Speed and convenience. That the seller gets speed and convenience, and the buyers get the price, or you get the price. That is the difference. That is the power of this business. Now, if people want convenience and price, now you're talking Ovation. If people want speed and price, that's when you're more into a creative offer, or most likely what 95% of property owners do is just listed on the market. Listed on the market or listed for sale by owner. That's where most of these properties go, right? But that's what happens. Awesome. I'm going to, guys, ask the questions. I'm going to star some of these, and then we're just going to start knocking these things out. Absolutely incredible. So let's get back to this. Let's fire this thing up. All right, people over properties. Next is, guys, name, address, phone number is all you need in this business. It's all you need.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that we overcomplicate everything? Just,
well, I mean, look at your CRM. Raphael has an unbelievable CRM built on Go High Level with so much automations and so many different intricacies in it. But when it comes down to it, what are the three things that you need?
Yeah. Name, address, and phone.
Name, address, and phone. That's it.
I love the, I mean, you always talk about this, but you started with a folder, Yeah, and a binder just full of lead sheets in there, right? I think kicking it off, it's one of those things. I mean, we see it all the time where it's like, oh no, I have to get ready. I have to understand all the statistical whatever of the economy at a global scale, and I mean that's wild because we really don't. We just got to have more conversations with sellers. Nothing happens if we don't move the needle on that. And really a phone with a name, address, and an actual cell phone is really going to get you and break you through the process of just getting your feet wet on here. So
my first 20 deals were right here. A yellow pad of paper, driving around neighborhoods, finding properties that were vacant and beat up and boarded up, and the roofs were all beat up, and the lawns were out of control, or they were totally scorched because we live on the surface of the earth here, or surface of the sun here in Phoenix. But that's all it was. I had a yellow pad of paper, drove around, I wrote down at the top, I would write down the address name, I would write that and I would underline it, and I'd say Banana Street. And then I would write underneath it all the different addresses, all the 1212, 1015. And then I would go back and I would find the phone numbers for all of these properties and I would call them up. Literally, that's it. You just have to get violent with your efforts. You need to go absolutely crazy. You do.
Yeah.
It is inevitable. If you call enough people and have enough conversations, you'll win. That's it.
Facts.
Absolute facts. Absolute. You can do up to 100 deals per year on a well-organized spreadsheet. Dimitri Van Camp, all the way from Europe. You're absolutely
I would agree
right.
with that.
Yep. Kent's got a deal in Montgomery. We'll get to that in a second. Absolutely. Let's go to number 3 here, guys. I mean, number 4. 90 to 100% of this business is phone skills. 90 to 100% of this business is phone skills. This is not a face-to-face business for the most part. The last 10%. In markets where the properties are above 350, 400, I highly suggest people go on in-person appointments, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
you don't have to. I highly suggest it. But in the markets that are under 350, the markets that are under 400, you can do all of this virtually. Tell them about it, Raph. Tell them about it. How do you run your business?
I'm based out of Phoenix, so we're in the same market here, and I'll do deals here every now and then. I kind of kept the some of the campaigns in place and whatnot, but the bulk of my deals really come from virtual deals. It's once I understood, and I when I got into it, it was all just face to face. Literally, I was going on around 5 appointments a day. It was wild back, 20 to 25 appointments a week, face to face, sitting across the table from a seller, and different times. Right. So I thought that was the game. It's like, no, you can't scale it because you have to be face to face in order to close. And then I realized, I got over that threshold where the paradigm of just like, no, I have to be in front of somebody so they can sell the house to me. Otherwise it doesn't work. Once I got across that, because it was a mental barrier, and it was a very much a personal mental barrier. It just changed the entire thing. I mean, the US became the oyster, right? So now what we do is we just look for markets that are healthy markets in numbers. They have decent ARVs. There's good supply and demand, and there's a couple of stats that we go into. But you can do anything. Like this entire thing can be done, and we do it on a daily basis, just virtually, picking up the phone and having conversations. My team is virtual. I mean, my acquisitions, my team is they're not even in Phoenix. We have one person in Phoenix. Everybody else is virtual. So yeah, absolutely.
How do you know it's a good market to do this virtually? What are the indicators? You touched on some, but you went real fast with it. You said supply and demand. You said ARVs, strong ARVs. Like, how do you do that research, Raph? How do you know that you're in a great spot?
I keep it simple, Brent. I used to get into the weeds and I mean, spend days just kind of researching and getting ready to drop marketing.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I look for markets that are going to be healthy in terms of population. I mean, we look like anything above 300,000 people in there is going to give me a decent amount of properties to look at. and go for that 5% of wholesale properties that we need to find, right? Because at the end of the day, like we're not looking we're not going to be the average seller's cup of tea. We're not. There's a certain amount of people that are going to go with what we have to offer, because we genuinely have to offer a solution, and it's a very small percentage. Normally, what I found is, like, if you look at markets that have over 300 people, 300,000 people in population, you're going to start to get those numbers. The bigger, the better, right? So we do that on virtual markets. And what happens is that when you drop campaigns in those pinpoints, you end up hitting the suburbs around it, right? And when you hit the suburbs is when you find all those deals that not everybody's kind of directly targeting, like dial in by zip code and whatever, but you still have buyers in those areas. So look for average days on market that are under 120.
What does that mean? What is average days on market?
So days on market, if you're new to real estate, days on market is going to be the metric or the number that tells you how long it's taking for properties to sell, right? Through a real estate agent. So if I have a property that I need to sell, I want to put it on the MLS. I go to an agent. The agent puts the property up, for sale, and it's going to take them on average, 120 days to sell the property. That tells me that it's a slower market, right? So when you have days on market that are between 70 and 90, it's kind of pushing the envelope. But we look for markets where the deals are actually coming in and going out. You can get into absorption rates and more complicated stuff. Keep it simple. Just look at, and this is something that you can Google, right? So go to whatever market you're in and Google what are the average days on market for, boom, the city. Right, you're gonna get that. If you go to ChatGPT, it'll give you all kinds of stats, even easier. So yeah, all these things that we used to just kind of have to scramble and break our heads to find out. Like they've just gotten so much easier. But yeah, so keep in mind those two things, right? And it's not too complicated. I mean, if you just start making phone calls on that area, pull a list, right, and try it out, see what the vibe is.
Sherry's 1,111,000,000 and 8-year-old is crushing it on wholesale.
Boom.
Signed 5 contracts last month with his 18-year-old partner. I'm seeing these young guys come up,
bro.
And I know that you coach a lot of these guys because you're the systems guy. You're the Pulse CEO. You've got all the different SOPs, and you've got your incredible CRM that basically runs everybody's business for them. These young guys are coming up fast, Raph.
I get excited, man. There's I don't know there's something going on. I mean, I see somebody posting about Chicago. Like, there's a couple of guys that we know right now that are students out of Chicago, and there's other places as well. But I mean, these guys are coming in just out of the gate, and really, I feel like it's the focus behind it, right? I feel like right now, especially where kids or young people are at, is they either get really, really focused and intentional, or they just go, the opposite way, where it's like relaxed and I don't want to take any responsibility in that type of stuff. So it's kind of hard for me to find somewhere in the middle. But these guys that are getting honed in, I mean, they're going to take over the next generations. I mean, they're already doing it now. Yeah. Just the intentionality behind it, the focus. I mean, they're hungry. So yeah, that's awesome. Big kudos to that 18-year-old kid. But yeah, they're coming in. They're coming in hot.
Number 5 is I took way too much time out of my life to try to figure out average fix-up cost. I will tell you this right now. For most of the markets, you can use between $25 and $35 a square foot. You really can. I mean, you can make it 2,000 square feet, needs a cosmetic, $35 a square foot, $70K. If it needs needs a new roof, add $10,000. It needs pool resurfacing, $10,000. The basement downstairs flooded, needs to be whatever, repaired or drained or whatever, pumped out, $10,000. All of these things, $10,000. Add $10,000 onto $35 a square foot for major items, and you're going to get pretty close. Don't think that every rehab is 150,000 or 200,000, unless you live in San Diego or a mountain town, you know what I mean? Or in Hawaii. But beyond that, it's you could do a lot of really good work by just estimating $35 a square foot for cosmetic rehab.
One thing to keep in mind on that note, and I totally agree, it's actually the number that I use as well, and as a template, right? Like number, right? Like when in doubt, just use 35. Doesn't matter if they say, I mean, when you don't know exactly what the numbers are or whatever, just roll that into it. What we're trying to do with that number on the average fix-up cost is to build a cushion for profit. It's nothing more than that. We're not, they're still going to come in with their contractors and their inspectors, and then they're going to do whatever they're going to do and say this and say that and whatever. All we're doing with that is working a cushion of negotiation on the front end with the sellers, right? So go back to your role as a wholesaler and keep in mind that that's the whole purpose of that conversation. You don't have to, get it down to the pennies and the cents. Because it doesn't matter. You're going to tell a buyer, hey, listen, this is going to cost you this. The kitchen's going to cost you this. And this is the estimate. This is what I have here. This is what I got that. And then they're going to tell you, I have my crews. I can, or, I agree or disagree. It's like, you're never going to win that battle. So don't spend a lot of time in it. Just budget for it.
That's right.
Yeah. Peg Mounds 911. Can they wholesale in Chicago? Yeah.
I've got these all ready for us. So we're going to start jumping into some questions because we've got a few piled up here. So we'll start knocking these out. We'll start with Fabulous Fat 96. Fabulously Fat. PHAT. You know what that stands for, Raph?
Pretty hot and tempting.
Pretty hot and tempting. That's right.
I also think it's from 1996.
Yeah, baby. Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you think about the market right now? Investors out in Seattle are looking for really big spreads.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're looking everywhere for really big spreads, but I don't know. It's funky. I mean, what I'm seeing on my end, I mean, investors are pulling their punches in some of the areas. You have to buy deeper as a wholesaler. You have to negotiate deeper in order to maintain those higher spreads. I mean, I can tell you, for example, our average deal size did drop over the last 6 months. We were tracking that on the KPIs, and we went from a 32. I think we're at a 24 right now on average. So yeah, I mean, I'm seeing some stuff tighten down.
Yeah, what I would say is this is a boring market. Yeah. Fabulously Fat 96. This is a boring market. And in these markets, you have to be very conservative with your numbers because here's the fact. Most of these cash buyers that we're dealing with, they're not sitting on all this cash or gold bullion in their bank accounts, right? It's not just sitting in some safe somewhere. They're getting money from hard money lenders. Most of the time, right. They're getting money from these private money lenders, and it's anywhere from 8 to 12% typically in this market. And that means it's like 1% every single month. They have to like write a check or it starts building up if there's a deferred payment situation. And so think about that. If you're in Seattle and the average price, you're buying a beat up house for $700,000 and you're getting a loan for, let's say, $6,000, that means every month it's costing you $6,000, right? So in their mind, they're going, okay, I'm going to get real conservative with what I list the house for because I need this thing to sell right away. I don't want this thing sitting on the market for the next 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then I'm going to get a low ball offer anyway, and it's going to be a mess. So I can't push value right now because there's too many options out there and there's not enough. It's not a buyer feeding frenzy like it was before the interest rates adjusted. So they get more conservative. They need to build in like $150,000 profit when, a few years ago it was $50,000. That's how this game works. So it's just making those adjustments, having good conversations with any of the investors that you're working with and or yourself to make those adjustments so that you can be really conservative, so that you can be priced under the highest price in that neighborhood and you are the best looking home in the neighborhood. Homes still sell fast if they are the cheapest and the best in the neighborhood. They do.
Yeah, you got to have a deal that screams. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. Fabulously PHAT 96. Also, the sellers, I feel the sellers are starting to catch the memo. it usually takes a period of about a month, a couple of months in there, like maybe a quarter, for investors and sellers to start speaking the same language. You know what I mean? And I feel like the people that wanted to sell 3 months ago are realizing is like, oh boy, I can't sell as fast as I thought I was going to sell. And they're a little bit more open to offers. People that were holding back too, they're also getting lower offers because of all this, same activity. So yeah, don't be afraid of dropping the low anchors.
Yep.
So
is that 3,054 or is that 3054? I have a question. Currently, I'm working in the Atlanta markets, and I've been making calls on my days off. But since I live in Florida, when it comes to time to open escrow, what do I do? Well, we got you covered here. This is what Raf does multiple times a day. So get him.
We are talking virtual wholesaling right here. Yeah. When it comes time to open escrow, what do I do? You got to, one, I like to find escrow companies that are local to the deal, right? There's a handful of national title companies that are really good, and they operate in most major markets. One is Close Title, right? That's one of them. Another one is going to be Spartan Title. But you can, it doesn't change anything. The process is still the same. So you're still going to open escrow. Once you get a deal under contract, have a conversation with the title company, send them the contract itself, and go, start getting through the escrow process. It doesn't matter if you're not in the same state. At the end of the day, like when you close on the deal, if you're taking it down, you're actually closing on it. They're going to send out notaries to you wherever you are, wherever the seller's at. So it just, tech and everything that we have out there makes it so much easier and easy to transact all over the place. So
yeah, it's no different.
Yeah.
One, you want to work with the I don't know if is it an attorney state or is it a title state out in Georgia? I think it's title. Find a title company. Find a title company that works with investors, right? Find a title company that is familiar with the process, and they'll handle everything. And to deposit your earnest money as a wire, send a wire. It's done. Boom.
Or send it to Easy REI Closings, and they'll handle everything for you.
They'll handle it. This is awesome. Is that Hyro or a Gyro? What is it?
I think it's Hyro. Hyro.Rodriguez 2.
Hyro. Okay.
Yeah.
Statewide versus metros on PPC. Really great question. It just depends on your strategy. The further out you go, you're going to get way cheaper leads with pay-per-click, right? In major markets, the average cost for a pay-per-click lead is going to be around $300 in the major markets, right? If you go a little bit outside, you're going to get closer to that $100 mark. And I am telling you, the virtual wholesalers that we're working with right now that are going in the smaller markets you've never heard about, are getting leads. The sweet spot, the absolute sweet spot is $100 a lead. And let me explain why. Because when you go cheaper than that, you kind of open up the search terms that people are looking for. And that's more the listed properties. That's more the people that are just kind of interested in getting a free appraisal on the property. But once you get into the keywords that are a little bit more expensive, the ones that are very specific, they want to sell their property for cash. They want to sell their property without an agent. They want to sell their inherited property. These keywords that cost a little bit more, it's usually about $100 in these smaller markets. So listen to this: 16 leads per deal is the average right now. 16 leads per deal. So $1,600. And the average, because a lot of these people are putting them right on the MLS, they're doing a novation, or it's just a beat up house and they're finding a cash buyer in the area. But the average is about $34,000 for a novation. 34,000. It's incredible. You put 16 in and get 34. That's like putting $16 in and getting $340 out. That's over 20 times ROI. It's bananas. It's actually one of the strongest strategies that I know of right now that gets you those cold calling and text messaging type ROIs, right? With them coming to you. So it's actually a shorter timeline there on Google Ads because those people want to sell right now, and they're making a decision in the next 48 hours. So it takes 48 hours. You put $16 in, you get 340, or 1,600 and get 34,000. Do the math. That's how these guys are scaling, and they're doing awesome.
Well, on that note, it's a good question, and I totally agree. I mean, on that note, it's not just about the areas that you're looking at wholesaling in. I mean, it's also about the strategies that you're willing to put out there, right? Like if you're just flat out offering the wholesales, and you kind of stay as a one trick pony. I mean, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. Novation is a really, really good strategy. It helps you monetize the rest of the deal. Of the leads that you normally wouldn't be able to close, right? So I highly suggest that as you're I mean, it sounds like you're building up to increasing your budget on the ad spend. Do the same for deal strategies if you're not currently working on those. I mean, look at alternate deal strategies and how can you monetize more of those leads. Whether it's through you doing them or partnering up with somebody who can knock those out for you and do a profit share. So.
What do you think would be an average deal size to aim for with outbound in a market with an average sales price of $400,000 houses? I love it, Scott. I would say 10% is what to shoot for. That's like the high goal. But you're probably going to fall in that 5 to 7% in this market, right? In this market, closer to like a $20,000 to $30,000 deal in that, when the market shifts and it's a lot hotter and there's less inventory and there's more movement by buyers, you're going to see that shoot up to 8 to 10%. But you're looking for 5 to 7. I mean, push it as hard as you want, right? But you're typically going to run into 5 to 7.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes back to the same thing as the previous question too. Depending on the vehicle or the marketing strategy that you have, coming in, if it's an inbound versus an outbound, that's going to change things. How you're able to structure the deal is also going to impact a lot. So,
where's a good platform to sell the Montgomery deal from Kent Baldwin? Kent, by the way, you know what he loves, Raph?
No, what is Kent? Vacuuming.
Clean carpets.
Clean carpets.
He loves a clean carpet. He can't stand a dirty old carpet. He wants to get it all cleaned up based on his profile pic here.
That looks oddly satisfying, though. I can tell you that.
It is. You ever watch those like videos?
Yeah. No, I've had dirty carpets like that.
Old school, beautiful rugs. They clean them all. That's crazy,
bro. Anyway. I have 3 dogs. Yes, yeah. I know what a dirty carpet looks like.
All right, go ahead. What's a good platform to sell a Montgomery deal? Montgomery deal.
All right. So, I mean, you have investor base as one of the points to start pulling leads right away. This is cash buyer leads. Have you guys talked about a lot about investor base or in the past?
Yeah.
So investor base is one of them. I mean, it's a go-to, and of course you have investor lift, which is another big platform. Right. That one, tends to be pricier, but I mean, you have like basically anybody who's buying properties, you're going to find on those. One thing that you can do, Ken, is reach out to somebody who's got an investor lift account, and JV with people like that. I mean, we do that, for example, on our side through our accounts, and partner up with people, right? But people will do that kind of stuff with you, and then you can do a split on it. It's worth the shot if you don't have a buyer's list built out on that side, which we're working on a few things on that side, Brent, as well.
That's right.
It's gonna be exciting.
Sean, I'm working on my first deal, creative finance. I just need a private money lender. How do I approach a private money lender when it's my first deal? Awesome. Well, I know that Pace has a tremendous database for this. And so you can certainly get into any one of his groups, Pace Morby groups. And what I like doing is I like going down to the RIAs, the Real Estate Investors Associations, and making friends with whoever's organizing those. And there's a ton of different meetup groups and RIAs all the time. You can go to meetup.com and find them. You can go to Bigger Pockets and find them. You can just type in RIA, my local RIA or whatever, and it should pop up. And I like just going to somebody and bringing the deal, somebody that has some experience, somebody that has good vibes. You know what I mean? Not the dude that's over there that's like, kind of standoffish and kind of weird and kind of like, oh,
or the super salesy
I'm
one.
really good at this or whatever else. Although I feel like that generation's really died out. I really do. I haven't the last, I would say 2 or 3 years of going to meetup groups and RIAs, people have been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. People sharing and connecting. And it just feels like I don't know. It wasn't the way it was when I was coming up.
I feel like the whole mastermind culture has made a dent in all that stuff too.
Maybe that's what it is.
More people are involved in masterminds, and then you have a totally different mentality. But what happens is like, we'll bring it out into the community. Why? Because we're just hanging out with great, awesome people at that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just go to that and I would bring a deal to, 3 to 5 different investors and see what they think about it. And you'll find the money. I mean, here's the thing. I have never seen a good deal not find money ever. And I've been doing it 21 years. I have never seen, there is way more money than there are good deals. Sean 1282. You will find it. So you got a great deal. Bring it to somebody in your market. Bring it to somebody that can connect with you, and you'll have that thing funded no time.
She's working on creative financing though. I wonder how the deal's being structured, because you can get I mean, there's a lot of ways to work the gap into those creative financing deals. It'd be interesting to see the structure of that deal.
Oh, it's Shauna. Oh my gosh, I am out of control. I've been saying Sean. That is Shauna. I'm sorry. I did the worst part of my SAT was my spelling. All right. I'll just tell you that. Math crushed, spelling terrible. So there you go. Here we go. Can they wholesale? Peg asks, can they wholesale in Chicago? I believe she's referring to her 18-year-old son and his business partner. So in Illinois, you need to have a real estate license to assign a deal. You can do one deal, and then you need to have a license. Now, some people just don't care, and they do it anyway. Probably not a great idea.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
all that stuff is going to start to get regulated more. I mean, it is. I mean, as far not regulated, just enforced more.
And so they can connect with a realtor to run it all through, and they should listen. They're 18. They're probably meeting incredible people all the time.
Well, also they're doing it virtually. Like, for example, like these guys that I'm talking about, like they're doing deals in Texas, they're doing deals in Florida, doing deals in Indiana. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's like we're no longer stuck to the backyards, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're getting around that. The cool thing is that you don't run out of market, man. How many times did you buy the Maricopa County market, Brent? Like, as far as absentee owners lists and skip tracing, huge. And but you get to a point where you already have the list, and then all you're doing is kind of refreshing the list and then hitting the same over and over again. With virtual, I like the fact that, I mean, it's hard to own the United States.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. Here we go. Nate Wish, what a great name. Any tips you can share on building my first caller setter team? Awesome. Yeah, I mean, Nate, there's a lot of talent, right, that you can go after. I assume that the caller setter is just kind of going through your list, filtering out the people that say yes, they would consider, and then get it into your acquisitions team, which is phenomenal. There's some great companies that do this. Call Motivated Sellers is one of them. They have the best talent, in my opinion. They did really well for me when I was doing when I was cold calling and had my cold calling teams. They were phenomenal, but not cheap, right? I mean, you're looking $20 to $30 an hour. You can certainly get a lot of these different callers and resources for a lot less than that. The quality does go down, but maybe volume makes up for it. You're just going to have to play around and see what your team can handle. But I always wanted less leads, but higher quality. And that always helped me hit my goals. And so we've done over, $2 million a year last couple of years. and it's just all based on quality acquisitions and quality leads.
Yep. We still do. I mean, we still have a leg of marketing on cold calling. I've always kind of done that and bolted on different strategies. So we're still doing good there. Just make sure that whoever you bring on, I mean, they have a good. Think about the discovery conversation that we have on the acquisition side, and then just kind of tune that down a little bit. I can't speak today, but yeah, a good company out there is direct2sellerleads.com for cold calling services, turnkey.
There you go.
Bam.
How do you feel about the Florida market?
I like it. We've done a bunch of stuff in Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville. I like Tampa. I'm not crazy about South Florida. I mean, that one is it's wild. But even then, we've still done deals in not in Miami, but like outskirts of Miami. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a good market, especially if you go to the Panhandle. There's a lot of industry and stuff that's coming up. So the demand is there.
Yeah, I think Florida is a fantastic market. I mean, we've got a ton of people in the Rhino Tribe that are doing a lot of deals in Florida, and so it's listen. I think every market's great except for maybe like Manhattan or something. You know what I mean? But outside of some of these, maybe 2 or 3 really, really, really expensive markets that I mean, people fist fight over deals. Or fist fight over just buying any property. Yeah, go crazy. I would test every market that you can, Justin. Go and test it and see where you're getting the best results if you're just doing it virtually. Now, if it's your own backyard, I would start in your backyard. It just depends on if you're doing it virtual or if you're doing it in person.
Connect with Peg Bounce 911. She's in the chat. She's from Jacksonville. So sweet.
Charlie Soto says, what would you suggest I do if I'm struggling with the 3 Ds, low budget and momentum? I've been instructed to attack Facebook and door knocking. Charlie, I love it. Let me first explain the 3 Ds: doubt, disappointment, and distraction. Doubt, disappointment, and distraction. This is what really clings on to us, especially when we're starting something new, especially when we go and we understand that this is a skilled-based business, that this isn't just a walk in the park, that this does require everything from us. It requires everything. And when you let that doubt, that self-doubt creep in, it just is going to slow you down, right? It's going to stop you from going out there and taking massive imperfect action every single day. And that is, I think that's important to break that down. Massive imperfect action. It's going to be imperfect, Charlie. You're going to screw things up, but I am telling you, that's how you learn. That's how you build the skill. Repetition is the mother of skill. I mean, you need to get this in. Every single person that has a successful business has gone through a hustle season. They've all gone through it. They've all gone through the struggle season. So number one, you got to surround yourself with incredible people. You got to surround yourself with people that are positive and optimistic and are going to be a cheerleader for you. You got to surround yourself with people that are further ahead than you. Somebody that has already gone through the journey that you're currently on. All right. Disappointment is just part of the game. You just have to understand that emotions are the most expensive part of our business. It's not marketing. It's not our personnel. It's not operations. It is our emotions in this business, because I'm telling you, it's the highest high and the lowest lows. You're going to have the highest highs and the lowest lows as an entrepreneur. And that in itself is a huge part of our personal development. Nothing is going to develop you more than being an entrepreneur, being a business owner.
We did a live, was it 3 weeks ago, Brent? When you had that breakdown right at the beginning of it, where you go through the emotional curves.
Yep.
I think that was 3 weeks ago. So might want to take a look at that, just review that beginning part of that live. But I mean, I think it's having a good grip on the awareness of what happens, right? When we start to get disappointed, we start to feel a little low, how do we react to it? Are we the type of person that's going to bear down and push through it? Or are we the type of person that's going to, kind of, sit back and then just, cover up with the blankets and chill there for 3 days, right? And either way, whichever way you naturally react, it's fine. The thing is to understand how you react and then do something about it, right? Because you are going to have a default reaction to that kind of stuff. So identify yours and see what you can do to change that when it's creeping in, right? Not after it's too late and 2 weeks have passed.
I love it. I'd be curious, guys. Which one is the toughest one? Doubt, distraction, or disappointment? Find the chat. Put it in the chat. Is it doubt, distraction, or disappointment? And then kind of explain what that means. You know what I mean? Because I think it's important for people to understand that we all go through this. This isn't just something unique to, I lost the name, but it's not something unique that's just a Charlie, right?
Yeah.
This is for absolutely everybody. And so put it there. Is it doubt, distraction, disappointment? Put it in the chat. Find the chat. Let us know. And also pick up a great book, Charlie.
Yeah.
Pick up a great book. Books are the plunger. All day, especially now, guys. Holy cow. We are bombarded with negativity. The news is designed to make the world's problems your problems. Okay? And some of them are legit. Some of them are not. But we get bombarded by so much going into our brains on a daily basis because we're basically cyborgs, right? We have this attached to us at all times, right? We literally have a robot attached to us at all times that can answer any question, give us all the directions, tell us what's going on with the weather, tell us what's going on anywhere in the world. It's constantly updating us. We're cyborgs. We're already cyborgs, okay? And because of that,
programmed.
Because of that, it fills us up. So books and great books and inspiring books are the plunger for your brain. And if you want to just watch an awesome YouTube, like 30 minutes, that'll just get you fired up and get you just pointed in the right direction, there's an old school recording called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale.
Fire.
The Strangest Secret. And he's got this beautiful, Earl Nightingale had to have smoked all the cigarettes, every single cigarette that there was produced from probably 1930 to 1980, he smoked. He's got this real awesome, deep, gravelly voice, and he's just absolutely incredible. He's absolutely incredible. You definitely check it out. Strange Secrets on YouTube. You can listen to it for free.
What's your reset, Brent? On that note, not that I want to, stay too long on the topic, but what's your reset button? What's the one thing that you do or consistently do to either reset or keep yourself on the right track? We get hit all the time.
Yeah, a couple of things. Exercise, absolutely. You have to move your body. You move your body. Body's in motion, stay in motion. It just clears out. At least for me, it really clears out my head. Like Monday workouts are just unbelievable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Before that, I'm just like kind of like whatever, because shaking off the weekend, shaking off whatever shenanigans. And so exercise for sure. And then I have to, Raph, I have to listen to good things in my car. I have to. I have to listen to Alex Ramosi. I have to listen to good audibles. I have to listen to Diary of a CEO. I have to listen to what's the other one? British dude. Whatever. I have to listen to really great things.
007.
Yeah, no. But that's what helps out.
I do the same thing. I just do it in a somewhat of a different way. When I'm on the road, I'm usually like strategizing, thinking biz and kind of, mapping out the day or planning, right? Because I have a long track between the office and home. But at the gym, I think 90% of the time I'll listen to audiobooks. So as I'm working out and doing my thing, there's a book, behind the lift, right? So it kind of helps me wire the time to a double win, both on the physical side and the mindset side. So, but yeah.
Yeah, guys, listen, distraction. Absolutely. There's so much to be able to distract. It just depends on what, it's like, Raph, I don't think that people are happier when they have a lot of business success. I really don't. I mean, on
Yeah.
some level, sure. I think there's just part of, at least for me, and I know for you and a lot of the people that we surround ourselves with, that we just feel like the biggest regret in life would be to not go after and see what our potential is. You know what I
Right.
mean? And freedom, that I saw that Tiffany High posted something. She said freedom's a goal, but money's the scorecard, right? And I
Yeah.
thought that was an interesting thing. And you look at it, does it make a happier life? Who knows? Probably, maybe. I mean, some people live in Tibet in a mountain, and they're the happiest people ever, apparently. You know what I mean? But I think that there's something. I think the people that are on here, our brains were just born differently. We're just wired differently to want to win, to want to succeed, to want to push the amount of value that we can provide into the marketplace, to see, what is the potential limit. Where do we go? And then all of a sudden we get complacent. How much is it in our bank account? How much is it in our savings account? How much is it in our retirement account? How much is it in the net worth of our portfolio? Right?
Yeah, at some point you just start moving the goalpost. Once you're out of survival mode, it's interesting that we can spend a lot of time operating under the same ideas or same premise or same habits, right? But all we're doing is we're just moving the goalpost, and you hit it again. You just make the goal a little bigger. And at first, it may seem like the thing that we want, but when you get to that goalpost and you're out of survival, and now you don't, you have food, you have shelter and all that stuff, you start asking yourself, like, is this it? Is this what else is there to, what is the purpose of life? And then we get all deep on it. So I mean, for me, man, it always comes back to internal fulfillment, right? It's being around the right people, having the great conversations, great relationships, being able to help others along the journey, and having that level of impact, man. I mean, I think the money is a byproduct of operating, and from a good space on a regular basis. It just, I mean, I really see it as inevitable. It's an inevitable result of being a good human being as you're going through life, and now you're fulfilled. And it's not a goalpost. It's it's just good vibes all over the place. So yeah,
love it. Bedtime Baby Lullaby 2255 says, when would you start inbound leads? Getting exhausted doing outbound. Have like 8 to 9 leads under my belt now. That the deals under my belt now. That's fantastic. That is absolutely incredible. This is what I would say. You can start going to inbound leads when you have at least 3 months. I prefer 6 of at least $2,000 a month to spend on inbound leads. And so let's break this down. You need at least 6,000 to 12,000 sitting there, minimum there, that you're going to invest into whatever strategy it is, whether it's PPL, whether it's direct mail, whether it's pay-per-click, whether it is what else are some, like hiring people to make calls for you, whether it's Jerry's new program where he's giving you the leads of people that have already said yes on a cold call, whether it's people that are sending in text message leads, whatever, right? If you can commit to $2,000 a month, that's when you take the next step. That's when you take the next step. If you can't, stay in hustle season. Be as proactive as possible. I actually like, I like people going outbound and being proactive until they hit $250,000 in this business. I like that. I think that builds really strong character and really strong just principles in your business. Like you're taking a lot of that money home. Bedtime Lullaby 2255. So yeah, $2,000 a month minimum for 3 to 6 months. Okay.
They're bringing these are good questions. I like it.
You want to read this one? I'll look.
Caden 4444. I'm getting a lot of pushback from my family and need my first deal to prove them that I can make money with wholesaling. What should I do to get my first deal done the quickest? I mean, there's a couple of things. I used to get a lot of pushback also from relatives, family members, cousins, brother, sister. Like, what are you doing? This is
Why?
crazy. Because they don't understand. They don't understand what we're going through, right? Like when we paint this picture and we start talking about it, it's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna get this contract, and then I'm gonna sell the contract. No, it's illegal. It's against, people don't understand, and when people don't understand the ins and outs of a particular thing, they're gonna push back against it, right? I mean, I don't know. Think about walking in the jungle and then you see a fruit that you've never seen before. You're gonna think twice about it, right? You're like, no, I better not eat it because I'm gonna die, or something along those lines. It's survival. But family will do that. It's the same thing. So I know it's hard to kind of set that aside, right? But think about what your ultimate goal is, right? Nobody's gonna live your life for you, right? So at the end of the day, we have to find out what our principles are, what our lane is, and what's the highest and best for our own choices, right? As we're walking through it. With that being said, getting to the nuts and bolts of that question. I mean, man, it's not sexy. What you're about to hear is not the sexy thing, but I mean, to get the first deal done the quickest, I mean, you need to get in front of sellers really, really, really fast. The fastest way of getting in front of sellers is door knocking. It's I mean, we've done a bunch of stuff on that. It's not gonna break the budget if you have the budget to and the skill set to take inbound leads and work them and that's one thing, right? But if you're getting started and you need to build up that muscle and build it quick, you have to put yourself in the lane of fire. So I mean, that's what I would recommend. And it's, there's absolutely, I mean, there's a wide array of different things that can be done. I mean, you can start hitting the phones, call absentee owners. You can do, the whole shebang, right? But at the end of the day, like you have to put yourself in front of that seller, so you can have that conversation. The fastest way of doing it, what I'd recommend doing, if you don't have a budget, and I'm just gonna throw that out there, but if you don't have a budget, you can find lists, 60-day lates lists. You can find pre-foreclosure lists. You can find all kinds of lists from title companies. And create a strategy plan. So pull up 25, 30 properties a day that you can actually go door knock after you cross-reference whether or not they have equity. There's some type of distress there. Don't go, after just random properties because you'll never finish. But segment those and go after them to start having those conversations. I mean, Brent has a script. It's the same script. It doesn't have to be this specialized thing. You just get in front of somebody and open up the conversation. It's like, hey, listen, I'm coming to you because I see that you have this situation with the bank, right? But I mean, that would be the fastest way of getting it done. The problem is that people don't do it. Caden, 44. That's the thing. This is not, it's not rocket science. It's not too complicated. It's just, a matter of getting out there. I mean, Brent, how many doors did you knock getting started?
15,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane. So it's not,
I had no money, Raf. I had no money. I had no opportunities.
Yeah.
I had legs and sunscreen, and I went out there and I had to make it happen. But I was scared. Part of it was also because I didn't grow up having to do it. I didn't grow up just being really proactive in that sense. And so I needed to go through that process to get better.
Yeah.
And it certainly did. It helped me understand how to communicate with people. It helped me understand how to not scare people, right? And just open up conversations with them. And then once you do that, it's really easy to do it on the phone.
Yeah.
So guys, I put a resource there, ttpinsider.com. There's a ton of tools and scripts and resources and some guides that you guys can download. It's all complimentary. It's all part of our, the Circle app thingy that we have all the resources in. So definitely check that out. It's awesome. Johnny Bravo. That's right. We got some great questions here. So this is going back to Shauna. Shauna, ARV is 604. Free and clear equity is 540. The owner wants 100K down. My exit strategy is co-living in Lodi, California. Lodi. Awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. That sounds like a phenomenal deal.
See
It
if you
just
could.
depends. Just make sure that the terms are right. I really like a 10-year balloon, Shauna. If they're trying to get you on like a 2 or 3 year, you're just not gonna. It's gonna be tough. I would push for 10-year, and 5 years would be the minimum for me, just to get out of this weird real estate cycle. But I would push for 10 years, and I would try to get that monthly payment as low as you can.
See if you can break down that down payment too, because you could push that. I mean, you can, for example, have them do, hey, listen, we'll do a down payment in 6 months, or we'll give you a down payment and give you half in 6 months, the other half in a year. See, breaking it down, sometimes it makes it easier for private money to come in, for you to come in and do something with the property, refi out of it in 6 months. I don't know, you name it, but you have the opportunity to go into it. If you're buying into equity. I mean, it looks like you're buying into a little bit of equity. Equity is 540 right now with him, but so yeah, I mean, that would be one way of looking at the side angle of this deal.
This is an interesting one, right? Daniel W 8470 hits us with an interesting one. What do you think about people buying deeds now and educating others on it?
It's kind of one of those things like I was saying, like walking in the jungle and then seeing a fruit that I haven't had before, and I don't know if it's gonna kill me or not. But I haven't done. I mean, I've done deeds in the past, but it's been on a case by case scenario, not as a business model. So I mean, I don't know. There's something that's just uneasy about buying the deed. When you're taking a deed down, if you don't do the right diligence, I mean, understand that you're also buying debt. You're buying. There's a lot of added stuff that can be coming in along with it if you don't do the research right, that you're taking with the deed. So that's one of them. It's one of the things that I look at. But what's your take on it?
Yeah, I love this. I love it, Daniel. I think that there's some really, really, really smart strategies here, and I think that there's some really, I don't want to say scary, but anything that's federally backed and you're trying to negotiate the debt on it to make a profit for yourself is going to end up bad eventually. All right. Now let me give you some examples of some debts and some liens on a property that I would love if you went and got these deeds. All right. How about this? How about somebody has a judgment on them, a personal judgment, and with personal judgments, it's attached to a property. For instance, when I got sued as a young man at 29 years old and had a $740,000 judgment, I couldn't buy any properties. Luckily, I had just foreclosed on all of them. Not luckily, but I went through that process. I didn't own any real estate, but I couldn't own any more real estate because of this judgment. If I had owned real estate, they would have attached that judgment to my real estate. It would be a lien on my property. And so if my property was only worth $500,000, but this judgment was $740,000, then it would show that I have no equity, right? And so there's an interesting move there, right? Where these investors are going to sellers like me or people in my situation that get this big judgment for whatever reason. Maybe it's a car accident without insurance. Maybe it's a crazy medical. Maybe it's something that is whatever. You just get caught up in some bad situations, bad people, you get a judgment, whatever. And it takes all your equity. Well, guess what? I settled that for $61,000 with the guy that had the judgment. So looking at it on the surface, even if I owned my property free and clear and I had this judgment on it, and I go in, I get the deed, and I go negotiate with the person that has the judgment and say, hey, listen, you're not going to get anything for this. The property is going to be lost to property taxes eventually. You're going to get nothing for this thing. So let's settle this thing. And then they negotiate down. I've seen this happen, Raph. The biggest deals I have seen in real estate have happened with code violation liens, judgments. Sometimes it's property tax liens that get reduced. All of these mechanics liens, all these different liens that show that they don't have equity, and you're able to negotiate them once you have that deed. Those are massive deals, absolutely massive deals. And we have some guys in the Rhino Tribe that are professional at this, absolutely professional at negotiating these big liens off of properties, and they make a fortune. They make an absolute fortune because everybody's throwing away the leads, going, "Oh, there's no equity." It's like real bananas. Yep, it's incredible. Good, yeah, definitely go for the 10-year balloon there, Shauna.
Awesome.
I'm doing deals. Outrageous AI. Yeah, good to have on you. I'm doing deals pretty consistently, but my average assignment fee is around $5K. Do you recommend moving to a different market or trying to get better at negotiating? I'm in Flint, Michigan area. Yeah, move to a different market.
Yeah, virtual is the game there. Flint is, I think you have an average ARV of like 60,000, something along those lines. And so, yeah, I mean, the lower the ARV, the lower the spread for the most part.
Scott asks, you think it's worth having 300K in the bank before starting PPC so you can go full blast right out of the gate? No, 300K is aggressive. It really is. I mean, if you've got 40, 50, 60, and you got some deals closing and you want to really rev it up, that's when you do it for sure.
Yeah. What's your ramp up recommendation, Brent? I feel like I know the answer to this question. I just want to hear it from you. But what's your ramp up recommendation as you when you're getting started, for example, in PPC?
Yep.
How much money do people need to have to just and runway wise, and then expectations as to leads coming in?
Small market, 5,000 to 10,000 a month in spend, and you want to have 6 months set aside. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, and and then the major markets, it's 10,000 to 20,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month, and 3 to 6 months. Yep,
love it.
And then you're going to be in a beautiful spot for negotiating. Beautiful spot for negotiating. Samuel, Flagstaff is awesome. Flagstaff is, people don't know this about Arizona, but we have mountains. And so Flagstaff's 2 hours outside of Phoenix, and and some trees. And it is 2 hours, two and a half hours outside of Phoenix, and it's 7,000 feet elevation. And that's where my log cabin is, and we love it. Talk about a reset, Raph. That helps as well.
Yeah. The happy place.
Yep.
Mine's at the beach in Mexico.
Well, yeah. They don't call it the Sea of Cortez for nothing.
Exactly.
That's right. Awesome job, guys. Awesome questions today. Thanks for jumping on here. I know that the time change was a little bit goofy. I know that was a little bit, let's see, we got New York market real quick.
I'm not a fan.
Music says, what about the New York market? Yeah, I mean, listen, not in the city, but everywhere else is fantastic. You know, you're not doing it in the high rises, but outside of it, the rest of the state is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic for it. And so just make sure that you get a great closing attorney in that state and that knows what they're doing from an assignment standpoint, and you'll rock and roll. Yeah. Dimitri says you can buy subject to the lien judgment, have the price reduced by that amount, and then retrade after closing for massive profits, plus 6 figures. Closed several of them. Yeah. So break that down. You can buy it subject to the lien, right? Yeah, that's essentially what they're doing, Dimitri. They're just getting the deed signed over for a fee. I think they're like, instead of going through a purchase agreement, it's like, hey, let me take on this. I'll give you X amount, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. There's no equity in this thing at this point. You give me the deed. Now I'm in full control of the ownership. But yeah, if it's subject, I mean, it's going to be subject to those liens for sure. Bedtime Baby Lullaby said, what are some good lists for outbound? What do you like right now, Raph?
I stick with the no property data list. I like that one. I mean, that one gets me
what is that?
Good mix of everything. So I'll look at the I was talking about markets earlier. So I'll do some research on the market, see what the average what the property that's selling the most. What's the type of property that's selling the most in that area? And you'll end up with a property avatar, not a seller avatar, but a property avatar. For example, you're going to find out that, properties built between, 2000 and 2015 are selling the most. The price points, selling the most on average, they're going to be in the, $425,000 range. And then, so you go through, you end up with this list of characteristics, and you end up with a property avatar that's in the highest demand for the area. That's what I like doing. When you do that, you end up with absentee owner list. You end up with, owner occupied, high equity, and whatever. And I'll filter with equity. I mean, I want properties with equity in there, but I'll filter through it. But I also get a bunch of stuff with lien, tax liens, tax default, pre-foreclosure, and all that stuff. But it all goes back to the type of property that does sell in that market. So you can do research like that. You can probably even just chat GPT it at this point, honestly. I mean, my process is going through list source. You don't have to buy the list, but you can use list source, create an account with list source, and then just cross-reference the data points of the stuff that's selling the most. So I like that one. Pull that list and then just go to town on it. We still do that through the cold calling agency.
Yeah. And then he asks, I have 40K, live with my mom. Should I rip some PPC or Facebook ads? I would go PPL. I would check out property leads. I mean, listen, they spend millions. They get like 60,000 leads a month, and then they're brainiacs, and then they put their algorithm to it. So I would probably do PPL until a little bit heavier in your bank account, and then I would go PPC. Yeah. Christopher, I was just going to call you, bud. Hey, Brent, I spoke to a property leads. They said to start up, I might need 1,500 to 3,000 to start bringing inbound leads. Does that sound right? Yeah. 100%, bud.
Yeah.
100%. You can go iSpeed to lead. Igor suggests iSpeed to lead. You could definitely check that out. I just know that the guys at property leads just spend the most. And so I've just the response that I've had from the people that are using it is better. But you can certainly try iSpeed to lead. And PPL nationwide, no, I would probably target specific markets that are wholesale and novation friendly, and just make sure that you've got a good connection. I would highly suggest if you're going to do virtual wholesaling and you're not using easy REI closings as your transaction coordination, you are literally just burning up time and money. I mean, if you look at how much time it takes to find the right title company or closing attorney, to run through all of the transaction coordination through the next 30 days, you can find so many more deals. Like, stop. If you've got a small team, stop the income servicing business and start the income generating business. Like, that's where the majority of your time should be spent. Income generating activities for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
My friend's a real estate agent, put me on to wholesale, just trying to get more general knowledge so I sound like I know what I'm talking about on the phone. That's great. Listen, exposure. That's absolutely phenomenal. I highly suggest that you check out my YouTube channel, Brent Daniels on YouTube, Jerry Norton's on YouTube, Pace Morby on YouTube, Jamil Damji, and Rafael Cortez. Between all that, you will have a masterclass, and then go to ttpinsider.com, and I've got a ton of downloads for you. Ton of downloads. REI Revolution Discord is pretty good. Lots of free education and deals being done there. Awesome. There you go. I think is that John Johnson's? I think that's John Johnson's. He's such an awesome dude. The Victor Wembanyama of wholesale. Awesome. Well, that's it, guys. That's our show for us today. We really enjoy you being here for episode 294. We're going to have an incredible show for you next week. And yeah, guys, give it up for Rafael. How can people follow you?
I'm pretty active on social media. You can just find me at Rafael Cortez CEO on Instagram.
What's your CRM? There. What's your CRM? Because people don't know, and it is the best one out there. And you're so sneaky about it. Like, you only let it to your super students. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're about to open the can on that, but yeah, it's the REI Pulse CRM. So It's basically everything you need to wholesale inside the CRM itself.
It really is.
We're working on some really cool stuff for you guys between Brent and I. So that's gonna be awesome.
It's awesome, guys. Check out our YouTube channels. If it brings value, subscribe. Join us for the live. We usually do a live on Mondays and Wednesdays, and it's a really great time. So come join us. We love answering the questions. Love just all the people that are out there taking massive imperfect action. All the people out there that are getting through the doubt, distraction, and disappointment, and that are out there making offers and helping these property owners get out of some really sticky situations. So you guys are amazing. You guys are doing incredible work out there. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you. Have a good night.